Those are slicks, and your guess is as good as mine. All right, this one's just in for some quick fab work. Let's take a look, see what we got going on. So I have a vibrant like Vangen clamp or whatever the hell they call those things. Intercooler's not mounted. There's no discussion of mounting it, but basically we need to put it in place. Without even test fitting, I can guarantee you this isn't going to line up with the intercooler, so we'll probably have to cut off the out inlet on the intercooler and make something work there. And then we have 3.5 inch back door shit on this side. And we have a 3-inch throttle body and another Vangen that he wants to weld on here. That's a 3.5. There's 3. So this does fit on here. And then once you put a second flange on there, you're going to be out about here. And there's no way to do a 3 to 3.5 inch transition in a 3-inch elbow without hitting here. And he wants to run 3.5 inch and then neck it down here so he can use the Vangen. I probably would have laid it out a little differently if I would have gotten to choose, but what I'll probably do is maybe turn this down a little bit, pull this out, weld this on, and off of the other flange maybe do like a 45 and then the reducer here, so then it'll be 3.5 the rest of the way down that way. So we'll play that one by ear. I refuse to weld this pipe into the charge pipe that I'm going to make, so I'm going to order a new flange if I don't have any here, and we'll just scrap this tube. And then we have this 3.5 inch 90 that's all scratched up. Looks like somebody drug it from behind the car, so I'm not going to use that. And then the down pipe here, up pipe, whatever you want to call it. So I haven't test fit this either, but apparently it hits the cam trigger. I don't know if it's a trigger itself or the wiring or whatever, so I'll have to throw that in place and see. And then another hurdle is this hood, I guess, isn't the hood for the car, so I can't cut it, so I just have to basically guess on the height of it. So let me do a little parts inventory and see what I have here and what I have to order, and we'll get started on it. So as expected, it's nowhere close, and you can't just, well, one we have to add, no we don't. There's no easy way to fix that. And we're too far over this way, so we have to go that way. So we're either gonna have to cut the turbo or cut the intercooler. This is, I don't know, maybe I'll cut both. So when you weld the flange to this bead rolled lip, it looks ridiculous. And then this is kind of maybe not necessarily ideal either. Repositioning some stuff. This still needs to go over to the right some, but it's not quite so bad. So I think what I'm gonna do is cut off, just maybe split the difference here. And then I'll see if it works out better to weld this to the intercooler. I'll do that and put in like a little, I don't know, 12-degree bend or whatever ends up needing to go in there. And then if that won't work, then I'll just have to weld the bend of this to that. But I'd prefer to get this onto the intercooler if I can. This is right up on the wiring here, so I'll probably have to cut that down here-ish, and then kick it over, kick it back, kick it up, and then bring it out over here somewhere. This thing basically has the entire KLM get up on it. I think the KLM manifolds might be at the top end of the Honda manifold stuff. All the ones I see come through, they all look really nice. The welds look really nice. They're welded a little cold. I bet just about anything that they're not penetrated on the inside, but if they hold up, they hold up. Because even the thinner 16 gauge stuff's not penetrated at all. There's a sticker on this one. I don't think this is their catch can, but gotta be real careful using that word. I hate that word. Nothing's perfect. Absolutely nothing is ever perfect. My main supplier for aluminum is one of the biggest in the country for Vibrant products. And they're out of T-bolt clamps, out of blow-off valve flanges, out of the 3.5 inch 45-degree elbows I wanted, and a couple of other things. The aluminum transition. So front end set, what? You're just basically going to snap your back through your asshole trying to lean over the car, and it's so flimsy you're scared you're going to break it. But I'll pull these sensors off and this stupid thing. That's about 400% harder than it usually is. There's only one flange in the box. That might ruin all of our plans. Conveniently have some other flanges here for another customer. He needs both of these, but only one of these, and I need one of these, so he should be here any minute. I'm gonna try and work a deal out with him. Just steal the one off the intercooler for now. But I have plenty of clearance here. I'm not gonna run a 90 here, but you can see that machined lip on the throttle body is kind of right. It's gonna land right where the weld is, and it's gonna be weird. So I'm just gonna knock a little material off of this, and it'll give us a little more clearance over here too. All right, that's a whole lot better. These cast throttle bodies weld awful, but it's on there, so now I'm just gonna clean up, port the inside of this so it matches nice. And then I'll throw all the sensors and crap back on it. You have to be real careful trying to flare aluminum tubing because it'll crack real easy. So I just flared some scrap tubing to make sure I didn't blow it up before I try and do it on some actual bends. Just to sort of illustrate why I'm going to do this the way I'm going to do this is you'd have to cut this. Oh crap, I need more hands. You'd have to cut this right before that elbow starts bending to weld it to the flange, and then we're going to be up in the shock tower. So we need to do some 3-inch right off of the throttle body, and then we'll step it up to 3.5 after that. I can tell already that having to neck down a larger pipe to a smaller diameter before it goes into the throttle body is probably going to look
not good.
So I don't know how happy I'm going to be with the outcome of this. So I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm going to sort of try and blend this in by doing it in the middle of a bend. Shit. And then I'll kick us out parallel this way. Hopefully it'll look not too shitholy.
Is that even a word?
Greatest tool ever. Throw a link in the description to it with a 10% discount code. This tacked on. Oh, it's still hot. Don't touch that. Maybe it doesn't look that bad, but I'm still not in love with it. It just, the clear answer here is that in order for this to look quote unquote correct, it needs a 3.5 inch inlet on the throttle body. Otherwise, I would have reduced it down to 3" down here and ran a 3" charge pipe. But it sounds like the plan in the future is to upgrade intake manifolds and throttle bodies and stuff. So I guess they'll just modify this pipe later. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you don't always get to do things the way that you want to do them. Welding it definitely helped blend it in a little bit, and I think doing it on the bend helped. Still not a huge fan, but I guess it looks better than I expected. I don't know. What do you think? It was kind of weird. Got right to the point where I needed UPS to show up to bring me my garbage, and they knocked on the door. I'm just buying stuff. Awesome, that's not what I ordered. It was my lucky day. I actually had another one, 3.5" hump hose in my junk pile. And this is why I just have junk, because you always end up finding something that you need. So now the problem is I don't have the bumper here, so I don't know how far forward I can come with the intercooler. And you would like to think that with this weight bar or whatever, it's empty, so it's not really a weight bar, but you would think that they would have pushed this all the way up, touching the bumper, which means I can only go to about here. And as you can see, lining that up there is going to be impossible, I guess, unless we cut back here and add some angle at this point. So now I got to try and sit here and figure out what's going to be the best way to go about doing this. So after looking at this for a little bit, I don't have a choice but to cut this here. Because if you try to go from here and then walk it back that way, it's just going to look terrible. And this whole thing really, for this being a $4,000 or $5,000 turbo, like this kind of doesn't match up with what should be on here. So I think I might just cut it here and kick it back more in line with this, and then probably chop this here, and then I'll probably need some sort of bend in there. Maybe I'll get it straight, we'll have to see, but oops. I think my grinder's taking a dump. Alright, now with the Rady intercooler, as far back as it'll go. Charge pipe over here where we have enough room for a coupler, and everything cut here. You can see it's way closer to being in line, so it looks like maybe like 10-12 degree bend here, and connect it into our flange here, and we should be ready to roll. You can even put like small sections of straight in here when you have these little pain in the ass things that are suck to cut. Not anymore. Got this coming out in a nice spot. Almost got this good, so just got to take this gap out down here. Then I'll start tacking everything one by one, get it to line up, weld it all up. Basically from here to here, gotta take some material off. Big thing you got to be careful with these clamps is you always have to check the fitment without the clamp on it and just aligning the flanges. These things get a bad rap because a lot of guys say that they leak and all that, but it's usually due to poor fitment. So you can have the flanges in the clamp, but you know, still have, you know, basically have them like totally cockeyed and whatnot. And then you also want to leave a little bit of a gap in between the two flanges. You don't want to butt it right up against one another because then it can't flex and then it defeats the whole purpose of it. At that point you might as well just use a V-band. So I got this one pretty close. I might touch it up on the belt sander one more time and then weld it up. God damn it. Here it is with everything tacked. Take that off. You can see here, got a little bit of a gap and we're pretty damn close to being right on the money. So I'm going to weld all that up. I'll set up on the intercooler. Now onto the charge pipe over here. Again, if it was up to me, I'd have another matching clamp here. Now I got one on the throttle body, one on the turbo, and a coupler here. So out of my control, so we're just gonna work with what they want to work with. And this should probably, hopefully I can do this with just 2 welds. The straight legs on the 90-degree bend are much shorter than the straight legs on this 60-degree bend, so I might have to actually add some straight material in. I'll try and see if I can make it work, but I just kind of suspect it's going to be just a little bit too short. So now I got to fire up the big one, which is 3.5, 4, and 5 inch. So kind of as I expected. Probably have to trim that down there just a little bit, and then up here needs a little piece. Now maybe I'm a little bit weird, but to me, if I just fill that little piece in with a piece of straight, it just looks like you measured it wrong. So I'm gonna cut this back here, and God damn it, I can't see that. I'm gonna cut it like way back here and then add a much longer piece of straight section. I don't know, maybe it's just me, I just think it makes it look nicer. You consider that good on the first shot. Clean it up, tack it, make sure it all fits. against all rules to have couplers and not bead roll the piping. This is the Vibrant bead rolling tool, and I've had a lot of different ones of these over the years. I used to use them so much they'd break all the time, and this is probably, not to knock Vibrant, but this is probably the worst one I've ever had. I only have this one because I needed it in a hurry, and my vendor had it in stock, and I could get it the very next day. But if I keep needing to use this thing, I'm just gonna have to break down and buy another one. Charge pipes in. Need to weld a blow-off valve flange on, and then mess with this down pipe. And basically, it just needs to snake like underneath this sensor here, and then cut it, and it'll come out like more so over here. But I'm gonna end this video here. It's about the end of the day, and if I end it here, I can wake up at 4:30 in the morning, try and edit it all together and post it. This car was dropped off yesterday, and I'll have it ready to be picked up tomorrow morning. So today's what, Thursday? Yeah, so he's only available to pick it up on the weekends. So if I don't have it ready by tomorrow, then it'll just have to sit here in the way for another week. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.